Good afternoon, Mbula Vanaka, Talofa to all our rugby compadres from around the world and the Southern Hemisphere. My name is Bryce Lang, and today I'm going to be talking about the different competitions concerning from a South African point of view. Seeing as we've been South Africa now are no longer part of Super Rugby, and now we've joined the URC. I want to air my views on how it is now winning games overseas, comparing those in the URC to winning games in Super Rugby. So, first of all, starting with Super Rugby, you see now you've got the idea where teams have to travel and cross time zones to get around, and that takes a toll on the body clock and also the setting of how things are with the players. Like if a South African team has to go to Australia now, you've got to put into contact the jet lag and the acclimatization to the climate there as follows. And you've got to also gauge what time is suitable to play the game. Like if you're playing against, say, the Brumbies, the Sharks are playing against the Brumbies, you've got to play the game at more or less. The game here in South Africa will be in the morning, and that side in Australia will be in the evening. So the game would normally be South African time would be at about 11 o'clock. Whereas now, when it comes to internationals, another reason why I think we were also told to leave Super Rugby is because internationally we couldn't perform well overseas, that being in Australia and New Zealand particularly. Now, with the URC, I think it's much easier. Because when we fly north, we fly along the international date line. Whereas if we're going to be playing games within Scotland, Ireland, and Wales, the time is more or less a similar time to that in South Africa. So the reason when the URC was established, is they said it will be good for the South African viewers, especially with our traditions of braaiing and having parties when rugby games are played, and also how just culture on either side of the world. Whereas when you travel now you travel east or west, now it really messes with the body clock. Whereas if you travel north, it's not so bad. But when you look at performance now from a Springbok point of view, I think when you look at like from your Irish, Welsh, and your Scottish perspective, teams will get more familiar with a lot of players who are in the Springbok team and how they play, which will help them gauge a way on how to deal with the Springbok game, and also how to find a way how to beat them. Whereas here in South Africa, the contributing factor, like now between September and April, you're playing rugby in sweltering, stifling heat. Now that's what teams have to now learn and acclimatize to that. As well as when you go up north, you're playing at altitude. So that's another reason why so many teams have come, especially to Pretoria and Johannesburg, and they found a way, found it very hard. They found it very hard to win games in those areas. I mean, if you look at it, it's kind of like Super Rugby in disguise. The way when we South African teams used to go to Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and Argentina.